Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be something different from my channel. It's something new and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. If not, if you're not a mom or you just don't really care for this thing, I'm sorry. You don't have to watch this. You can skip to one of my beauty tutorials or whichever you feel like, or if you know someone who is a mom or something like that, go ahead and share this video with them. And yeah, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Julia. I am a content creator and I am a freelance makeup artist as well as a parenting and independent living instructor. So I have two kids. One is a 5-year-old and one is a 6-week-old, and I just decided to make this video because when I had my second child, I was in the hospital. There was a lot of things that, well, not just in the hospital, but there was a lot of things that I experienced this time around that was very different from my first, that I didn't even know anything about. And I'm just going to go through each of them and just I'll talk about my experience. I am in no way a professional. This is just stuff that I've noticed. It might be something new for you. It might be something old for you, but for me, it's completely new. It was just all a new experience. So I guess I'm just gonna go through like a timeline, I guess. So first thing first, I didn't know. Sorry, I'm breastfeeding. I didn't know that you could get sick through your whole pregnancy. I had morning sickness up until 35 weeks, and I lost a total of 33 pounds throughout my whole pregnancy. I was over 200 pounds, embarrassingly. I was over 200 pounds, and now I lost like 33 pounds, and my doctor literally thought I was like throwing up and just doing everything I could to lose weight because she thought I was fat. Let me slow down. She thought that I thought I was fat and that I had an issue, that I was throwing up and whatever, but I was just throwing up because I was so sick. I literally couldn't eat anything, and I ate a lot of small meals and a lot of fruits that I guess just, I don't know. I just tried to eat as healthy as possible and as much as possible in little small proportioned meals. That way I wouldn't get sick. So if you didn't have morning sickness, you're so blessed. If you did have morning sickness, or you do have morning sickness, there are crackers, saltine crackers that help. There's ginger, there's a bunch of stuff if you look up. There's like pills that you take, or you can ask your doctor to prescribe you some medicine. My doctor, she was just, I didn't like her, and I don't think she really liked me either, but she didn't really prescribe me anything, even though she knew I was throwing up so bad. Yeah, there's a list of things that my friends on Facebook had told me. Actually, let me look that up for you really quick. I ended up posting about it on Facebook, and a lot of people wrote some suggestions, so I'm just going to read through a couple of them, or a few of them, or all of them. And I ended up just using ginger pills and a lot of saltine crackers. Just crackers, anything dry that I could keep down. So some said lemon and lime wedges with salt and suck on it. Let's see, there's another one. You can get prescribed Zofran. There are nausea pills that you can get. I didn't know that, and it's the True Natal, 1-a-day True Natal ginger supplement. Okay, so ginger pills. And then let's see, what else? Eating little meals and like little snacks frequently are what helped me a lot. What else? Anti-nausea medication from your doctor. Sip of lemon lime Gatorade. Dark chocolate with ginger in it. Let's see what else. Ginger ale. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you are sick, try any of those. I'm pretty sure one of them has to work for you. I know it was just horrible. I didn't even have like morning sickness the first time around, so this time was just, it was bad. Let's see. There's another thing called stress tests. If you don't know what that is, you're in a good spot. It's a good thing. Stress tests are basically to make sure that the baby is okay and not under any stress, and that their heart rate isn't dropping, and that you are okay as well. I noticed during my last trimester that my baby wasn't moving a whole lot, and I know when my baby is moving in my stomach, and you have to do your kick counts when you're in your third trimester, and so I started doing my kick counts, and then I also knew what time she was mostly active, and one day I just felt really off. I felt really weird, and so I went into labor and delivery and just made sure that she was okay, and I did a stress test. And then once you have one of those, depending on your doctor, they might make you do more until you give birth. So I ended up doing 3 more, which was every other day I ended up going until I actually went into labor. And they just hook you up to monitor, and the baby has to move 2 to 3 times within the first 20 minutes. If they don't, then that means something's wrong. But I ended up doing stress tests, and everything was fine. The next thing that I learned about that I still didn't know was something called a membrane sweep. So basically I was a little overdue, and she didn't come on her due date. So what my doctor decided to do was a membrane sweep, and basically she took her fingers and the space or my uterus and the, what is it called? The sac. Okay, the sac and the uterus that's attached to each other, she ended up just going around and loosening it up and breaking it, and I guess that can cause you to go into labor. And so she ended up doing that, and then the next day I went in for a stress test to make sure that the baby wasn't under any stress, and because after I got out of the doctor, I was contracting, and I just kept contracting. I went in Thursday night, and I went into labor Saturday, and that whole time I was contracting, and they got stronger and they got closer, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly why I went into labor though. Every woman is different. You could do it and still not go into labor for like a week or something, depending on who your doctor is. Because I was on my due date, so she didn't want to induce me because it's, what is it, the tracking of your period and stuff like that, and estimated due date, it's an estimate, so you don't know. It's either a week off or 2 weeks off. You really don't know, and you want to be careful because what if the baby isn't fully developed or something goes wrong, etc. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the epidural. And the epidural, basically, I didn't know that you can control it, and there is a certain amount that the anesthesiologist could give you to make sure that you will feel everything in the end. Like, okay, I know that sounds bad because you don't want to feel everything, but the first time around, I didn't feel anything. I couldn't even feel the pressure. Like, I just felt like the smallest amount of pressure when pushing, and they had to tell me when to push. This time around, the anesthesiologist gave me enough to where it would slowly wear off. So I got the epidural around 7 in the morning, and I started pushing around 2:45, but by the time 1:32 came around, I was in pain. Like, I was just like, oh my god, this hurts so bad. I could feel it. She's coming. I need to push. Like, I could feel it, and it wore off. I think it's just because the amount of the epidural, like the drug that, to numb me, he gave me the right amount, the right amount to make sure that I could feel myself. And that's what I wanted, and that's what I really appreciated, because I knew when to push. I knew when the baby was out. I could feel, you know, down there and stuff like that. So the next thing is, when you're pushing, and make sure that you ask your doctor or your nurse to massage you down there. I had so many different nurses, and I told the first two, but the nurse that actually helped me give birth, she didn't do, I was just in so much pain, I didn't even do it. But ask your nurse to massage you down there, and help you stretch out, and don't push fast. You have to do it slow, otherwise you're gonna rip, okay? Because that's where I'm going with this. You want to make sure that she's massaging you, and when you're pushing, make sure your doctor doesn't freaking stretch you out, because yeah, it was horrible. I just need to do a whole video on my birth stories, I guess. But basically, just be careful, because you can rip. They say that you can rip from your vagina to your butthole, but you can also rip everywhere else on your vajayjay area. I didn't even know that I could rip where I ripped. Mind you, it wasn't a big one, but it's still painful. And yeah, I was surprised. I didn't know that I could do that. I didn't know that that could happen. Everything in the room that you give birth in is for you. So we had a little crib that could roll, and underneath the crib was cabinets, and it had diapers, it had little hats, it had a change of clothes for her, it had the little blankies that you wrap the baby in. What else? It had the little suction cup, like for the nose and stuff. So everything in that little thing, that little bassinet thing, you can take with you. It's all yours and for the baby. Okay, so breastfeeding, I'm gonna make its own video, because it's a lot. I just wanted this to be like a quick video. Hopefully, if you get okay, so breastfeeding, I'm definitely gonna make its own video, because I breastfed my first child for 3 years, and I'm exclusively breastfeeding this one. My first one wasn't exclusive, but this one I am, and it is a experience. It's hard, but so worth it. And basically, I just want to tell you that you can ask your nurse for help. They are supposed to help you with anything. If you feel uncomfortable, just know that they are there to help. And the first day or two that you're in the hospital and you're breastfeeding, it's really hard and you feel like you're not making enough, but just know that the baby's tummy is like really little, and your body knows how much to make for the baby. And your colostrum is the very first milk that comes out, and then maybe 4 or 5 days after is when you're really gonna get like engorged, and it's gonna hurt and stuff like that. So if you could just ask your nurse for help, ask about the hand expressing, because there's something new called the hand expressing 5 times a day for 5 minutes for the first 5 days, and that's supposed to help you with your milk supply. And it actually really did. It was a lot, but it helped. And it's something new, because there's this like, you have to hand express into like a little cup, and then there's a little syringe, and then you feed it to your baby so that way it doesn't waste. But yeah, that was new. I'm gonna make a video if you guys have any questions about that. Any questions you guys want me to answer, just comment down below. Anything. I want to take like the things that are like embarrassing to talk about, or things people don't tell you or don't talk about because it's like, you know, nasty or whatever. Like, that's what I'm here for. I don't mind. I love talking about things, no matter how gross and disgusting or uncomfortable they make people feel, because sometimes people need to talk about it, because people like me don't know and aren't educated. So yeah. Another thing is your leave and bond time. I just want to let you know that you and your spouse, who if you guys have been working, you guys are entitled to 6 weeks off. for bonding time. So the mother can start maternity leave at 36 weeks. I took mine at 37 weeks, and which is good because I was almost a week overdue. But I took mine at 37 weeks, and then from the time the baby is born, you can get state disability for 6 weeks. Well, I'm in California, so I got mine for 6 weeks. And then there's something else called PFL, which is paid family leave, and that's another one that gives you another 6 weeks. 6 to 12 weeks, I think. It depends. Pretty sure it's 6. But I didn't know that. So I'm taking an extra 6 weeks. And my baby will be 3 months before I return to work. And also your spouse can take 6 weeks off. It doesn't have to be the first 6 weeks. It could be 6 weeks within the first year. And that's to help the bonding between the parent and the baby. When you go home, depending on your situation down there, if you rip or you don't, just know that there's help. If you need help, you can, I don't know what like, it depends on where you are, but there are resources for someone if you don't have family or anything like that, God forbid. Like there are people that you can call for help, and just make sure that you're doing okay. Or you can request to stay in the hospital a little bit longer for help, to make sure that you feel comfortable. And they make you fill out a survey and stuff like that to make sure that you're not feeling depressed and you feel comfortable before you leave and whatnot. We left after 1 day. We were just ready to go home, and my husband ended up taking, a week off of work, and it really helped. He was like Superman, or I'm pretty sure we just switched roles. I guess he took over my mommy duties, but he did everything. He cleaned, he made sure my son got to school, and he just did everything. And I was so appreciative because I thought that I could do it all, and I'll be fine, but I could return to doing normal activity and stuff like that. But it just, realistically, I was still healing, and my body was just not up to it, and it was just so hard to move around. And yeah, it was hard. So if you have help, just take full advantage of it and rest, and make sure you take care of yourself, and just concentrate on you and baby, because it's most important to make sure that you're okay. Otherwise the baby's not going to be okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My hair's all jacked up in the back, sorry. This is my baby girl. So she was 6 pounds 1 ounce when she was born, but now she's like 9.5 pounds right now, and she's 6 weeks. So she's doing good with gaining weight, and I'm doing good with feeding her. So yeah, just be confident in being a mom. You'll be surprised, even if you're a first-time mom, or you had a gap between your kids like how I did. Just know that it's all gonna come back to you, or it's all gonna come to you, and you're gonna feel like you're not ready. But then when he or she is here, it's like, boom, you got it. And if you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat. I'll leave all of my social media down below in the description box. I'm not a professional, but I mean, if you have any questions, if you don't have anyone to turn to, I'm always here. I don't want you to ever feel like you're alone and, lost or anything. But yeah, just know that it's all gonna come to you. It will. It'll be so natural, and then one day you're just gonna be sitting there and be like, oh wow, it's not that hard, it's not that scary, and I'm doing it. I'm actually doing it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in my next video. If you guys have any video requests, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.